in the context where Jesus loves your enemy. If you slap this cheek, I'll slap. Whoa, hold on a second. That's all gone out the window.
Well, that depends on how you
Tell me why I'm wrong.
Okay, so there's a couple of things, right? So first of all, just on the last point about love going out the window, love involves telling people hard truths even if they don't want to hear it. Okay, so to assume that love just involves like mollycoddling is not an accurate picture of love, right? And the other point you said about the prophet versus the mom example, the point is that the mom, someone's mom, is completely irrelevant to the truth of their worldview, right? Whereas the reason why we're saying kind of character attacks on the prophet is relevant is because it has a direct implication for the truth or falsehood of that worldview to a greater or lesser extent. Okay?
So
if it had no bearing on the truth or the kind of convincingness of Islam, then I say, what's the point in insulting the prophet?
Okay,
because it does, I think it's relevant.
Okay, I'll accept that because you're saying insulting the mom doesn't involve showing the falsehood of a religion that's just connected
Which
to the prophet.
Which is the end goal.
What you're saying there.
Okay. So one quick point. If they are insulting Muhammad, but intentionally they're doing it just to rile you up, that's also wrong. It has to come with intention and like...
Okay, good. So then what I've understood from that is that basically an individual who insults the prophet, to me, it shows me how weak their faith is. I'll be honest with you, it shows me how weak their faith is because there is not a single Christian Muslim in this part that has ever, they can't insult Jesus because he's a prophet of us, but has ever insulted the Bible, and I'm talking about insult, rip it apart, desecrate it, insult the Father or whatever we don't believe in. As Muslims, we never do that. We come with intellectual arguments. To me, it goes back to the discussion we had today about the martyrs of Cordoba, which, if you read the book, is a group of fanatic, radical Christians. Exactly. So did what?
Insulting the Bible.
No, he's wrong. For example, we're not allowed to insult your gods. We're not allowed. It's haram. So the point is this here, is that for someone to do that, martyrs of Cordoba, if you read it, these Christians, radical extremists, went to the degree because they saw they couldn't intellectually debate with the Muslims, and because a lot of the Christian youngsters were converting to Islam, they found a solution in extreme circumstances of insulting the Prophet in an Islamic land, knowing there's capital punishment, and that's the reason why they were called martyrs of Cordoba. And that shows to me how weak they were, that they had to resort to insult, degrading, and I don't know if they desecrated the holy books, but to me that shows how weak they are. Okay, am I right or wrong?
A couple of points. So I can't comment on that specific scenario because I don't know the ins and outs of it. But what I would say about it is, first of all, I made the specific point that it's not just gratuitous insulting for the sake of insulting. It's making a character assassination, or however you want to frame it, as in making critiques of Muhammad's character.
Criticizing,
insulting, however you want to frame it, right?
That's two different things. Because Dawah, we have people come and say, your prophet did this, I want to know. He's critiquing and want to learn. But someone coming in and saying, your prophet is this, and I'm going to drill the Quran and I'm going to burn it. They're two separate things.
If, for example, someone makes the claim Muhammad was a paedophile, I personally wouldn't go down that route, but let's say someone does. Okay, they could be doing that in several different ways. They say they're doing it in a way just to rile you up and insult you. That's wrong. If they're doing it because they're trying to say, okay, like a premise-formed argument, okay, Muhammad was a paedophile, paedophilia is immoral, Islam teaches that Muhammad was moral, therefore you've got contradiction. I don't see anything wrong with that because they're making a premise.
That's a discussion argument that can take place.
Okay, but it starts off with them still having to make the insult.
No, of course, there are people who come and say that, and we talk to them. At the end of the conversation, they leave saying, "Look, I'm sorry."
Okay, just
that's
one more point.
That's constructive.
Just to respond, when you said that Islam doesn't teach this, I probably disagree. So, would you say that Abraham was like a good example of how to live? Which kind of human being?
Yeah, he's one of the role models.
So he performed iconoclasm, didn't he?
He did what?
Iconoclasm, as in he destroyed like sculptures and like.
The Prophet Muhammad did that.
And the Prophet Muhammad did it as well. So so when you said that Islam doesn't teach that, how is that not?
Because there were false deities, and Islam came. So if there's one truth, and that truth has come down, and there's falsehood. Okay, he didn't insult the gods, but what he did is he said truth has come and falsehood has perished, because he said these are inanimate objects, and you guys know this is inanimate objects, and you know what you believe in is falsehood. But he didn't insult. But when he came with the truth and they rejected the truth, what he did is he established monotheism, and he got rid of the fake idols.
So, okay, but then you have a couple of problems there. So if you take the example of drilling holes in the Quran, that should be then justifiable principle, because from a Christian's perspective, Islam is a false religion. Now you could say, oh no, but it doesn't work because Islam is actually a true religion, but then that's just begging the question. If we're saying from a general kind of perspective, like a neutral perspective, saying, should this be allowed? Are we going to play on an even playing field? Then Christians should be allowed to do that, and Muslims should be allowed to do that in reverse. Do you not agree?
Well, I think that would only be fair if, for example, if this was a Muslim land, Christians invaded, they took over the land, and there was some symbols of Islam that they wanted to take down. That would be fair, but what you're saying is totally different, because if there's been conquering, and they said we don't want the crescent, which the crescent got nothing, it's got nothing to do with Islam in that context, yeah? If they said as Christians we do not want to see that sign, yeah, they have a right to do that because they are the ruling army, yeah. But to come and compare that to drilling Qurans and justifying that is, I think, is weak.
Okay, but what's the principal distinction then?
No, because one is, for example, Islam when it entered Mecca and conquered and established the truth of Islam there, they're not going to be like, okay, let's leave the statues there. No, this is falsehood in that context. But they didn't go around getting the idols and start drilling them and doing stuff like that.
But if they did, would they be wrong?
Well, we are told they will be wrong because Allah tells us that to insult their gods, it's wrong.
But how is smashing up their statues of their gods, saying that they're false gods, how is that not insulting?
No. But what I'm trying to say is, if they were to go and do that, we are forbidden to do that, to insult the gods. We are.
I'm saying it is insulting.
We can't. Because we can't. We can't go. We have a rulership. If there's a ruler over us, you can't go and do. There's a statement that I made about capital punishment for apostates. Yeah, and people took this as. I say very clear, and I stick by that word. Yeah, this doesn't mean you have people going around. Taking matters into their own hand.
Going like vigilantes.
Yeah, vigilantes. Yeah, this is haram in Islam because you can't go around and take the matters into your own hand. So the point here is establishing the truth. If the Christians did that and they did that to, for example, we don't have an image of God. Yeah, but if they did that, that's totally different. That's totally different.
Actually, shaking out.
I don't know where's. I don't know.
I got an umbrella.
Somewhere around there. No, he's lost his umbrella. The point is this, yeah, that even for you to come here today and justify the actions of an individual who draws the Quran, to me, I would say it's a big step towards the reality of Christianity. Because what it was before was, hey, happy-go-lucky, hey, we love everybody, slap the cheek, turn the other cheek. I'm more happy with this side of the Christianity because at least I know that this whole notion, and I speak to Bob as well, yeah? I was talking about Bob, yeah? And I'll be honest with you, yeah? I believe, I have no shadow of a doubt, if this was the Christian land and I came and did that, you guys would hang me upside down on that tree.
I can tell you for a fact, I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't, but it would happen.
And
I have no shadow of a doubt.
Christians who would do that.
I know Christians that would do it, yeah? And I know Bob will be the first one,
I know
yeah?
Muslims who do the same.
No,
it's irrelevant.
The point is this, it's not
teaches.
exclusive to Islam. My point is this, yeah? That people make it seem like it's just the Muslims. These Muslims, yeah?
What's not exclusive to Islam?
This issue. No. This issue that if somebody comes and draws the Quran and provokes an individual Muslim to come and do something crazy, that they make it seem like this is just Muslims. If you went to Peckham and did that to the blacks, they'll say no problem, mate. If you went to the far right, wherever they are, yeah, and you said this to them, they'll be alright. If you went to the pub and the England match was on and you said Italy won, they'll be like, no, that's nonsense. It's not exclusive.
Okay, well,
that's the point. If that's the point, they do.
Christianity.
No. We're talking about all kind of backgrounds.
Okay, fine, but then that's not.
If that's the claim,
point,
what that is, the following of that, what happened in the park, nobody can come and say nothing to us. Condemn? What the hell are you talking about? Because I can come and say this action would have happened again if you did it in Peckham with the blacks, if you did it in a white area. Legally, it's wrong. We never said this.
Not about morally, is it wrong?
No, that's what I'm saying.
So it's morally wrong to attack like that?
No, attacking, yes. For example, attacking a defenseless woman like her. The point is this, it brings greater harm. It's wrong. So the point in the following is, it's not exclusive to Islam. This is the human psychology that Christians... Who's ever said that? Then why...
Wait. Make the point precise, right?
Yes.
Okay. Who has ever...
All the Christians in the park, they make it seem like... See the Muslims again. What the hell are you talking about? Muslims again, bro.
Genuinely. Find any Christian in the park.
Let's go. I'll show you now.
Wait.
Come.
Wait, I'm making
I'll show you five minimum.
Very specific point. Okay. Yes. The only Muslims are the only human group that will retaliate with violence.
100%.
When you provoke them.
Yes.
It's only,
yes. Let's go.
Wait. Get that very carefully. So we're talking about people, if you go to a pub,
Yes.
they're not going to retaliate with violence.
No, the point is this.
Everybody knows that.
If that's the case, then
We're
hold on a
talking
second.
about Christians and
One second,
Muslims.
one second.
They might disagree about Christians.
If that is the case,
But we're
then
not
how
talking
could,
about
why are these Christians coming to us today and telling us, there's your religion? Why there's your religion, bro? I thought,
Okay, wait.
I thought anyone else could do
No,
it.
that's a separate point. That's a separate point. Okay. The reason they're making that claim is because they're saying that follows exactly with the teachings of Islam.
What is that?
Wait. Sorry, that would be a separate debate. But they're saying that follows from the teachings of Islam. But also they're trying to make a distinction from Christianity to Islam, saying we do things differently or Christianity teaches differently, right?
Yeah.
The claim or the general observance that if you go to a pub, you're going to rile them up, they're going to start a fight.
Yeah.
That's nothing novel. I don't know anyone who seriously entertains the idea that only Muslims
Yes,
would be
of course.
violent.
What they do, that's my point here. I'm
get
telling
the claim
you.
very carefully. Like
I'm
a very
saying
specific claim.
I'm saying it again.
Yeah.
Well, I can show you 5 people right now
Who
that
think
would
that
tell
the only
yes.
people who are violent are
Yes.
Muslims.
No, not violent.
When provoked. Violent when provoked.
No. Yes. The point is that Islam is.
absurd.
Well, that's what my point. That's my
Okay,
point.
well,
The claim
I
is the
don't believe
following:
anyone thinks
that they
that
make
they
it
do.
seem as if Muslims are the only religion. That's why Tommy Robinson would say,
No.
Islam is. Why is Islam got special rights? We can't criticize them. Why? Where does this notion come from? Why did the far right come to the park last week if the issue was not about Islam stops freedom of speech? What was this whole notion, this propaganda about? If that's not the case,
wait.
they should have said it was just a Muslim. She provoked him. He came and this is madness. We'll condemn the attack. Nothing to do with Islam. Why are you bringing Islam into it?
What's the ideology of violent pub goers?
Violent party goers. I don't know.
Exactly, they don't have a shared
Football,
ideology.
No, exactly.
Right, so you can't target it. Whereas if we're talking about, if the idea, this is a separate debate, but let's say hypothetically that, or at least according to the disputants, they say that Islam teaches intrinsically violence or whatever, right? You'd say that's false, separate debate, but
Yes,
just for the sake of the argument, okay?
There's verse in the Bible that you cannot find in the Quran anywhere.
Wait, okay. They think that it teaches violence, and they're saying this is the worldview that unites or acts as the base point for these violent actions.
Yeah.
Therefore, we want to target it and critique it and like put it on display, right?
Yeah, but that's false.
Okay. It might be false, okay? But you can understand the coherency of that approach if that's what they believe.
No, but if that's the argument.
Whereas, if you're saying why don't they do it for everyone, what's the collected or shared worldview or ideology of violent pub goers?
No, for example, if you go to, for example, stabbing, let's say the argument, let's say the black community is predominantly known for stabbing and violence.
Yeah.
So what scripture are they basing it on? So are we going to come and say now, the issue of if we go and talk about the black community and we're going to get stabbed, therefore it's a black issue because the blacks are known to stab.
You're still missing my point. I'm saying that the reason why you're saying why do people bring up all these criticisms of Islam as if Islam is the only violent thing?
Yes.
But they're saying because it correlates to a worldview.
No, it doesn't correlate to no worldview.
No.
Okay, what worldview?
According to the argument.
No, according to you. I know you believe that as well.
Okay.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Argument.
Thank you. No, you do believe that.
It's a separate point.
Do you believe that or not?
Wait. I do believe that.
Thank you. Now let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
Wait. I literally got about 10 minutes before I got bounced.
Why do you always have 10 minutes? Why do Christians always have
Because
10 minutes when we go to the crux of the matter?
I got 3 minutes.
You should be in church now, bro.
I should be in church.
Yeah, you're late, fam. Don't forget 10 minutes.
But this is an interesting discussion in
Did
itself.
you repent?
Right? I have. Anyway, okay. But this is an interesting point, right? So when you talk about stabbings within, say, the black community, right? There isn't a shared ideology, but you could actually say that there's more of a shared worldview when you come to stuff like poverty or environment leading to things, which is why those things are targeted. There are entire campaigns where people say, let's address poor circumstances or things in council housing.
Yeah, but poverty doesn't have a colour.
Okay, wait. This is what I'm saying, right? Because there is something which they can target. In a similar-ish sort of way, when people come to the park and you're saying, how can they be targeting Islam unfairly as if it's the only violent thing? It's because there is a worldview to which it correlates, number one.
Worldview by who?
What do you mean
by
who?
Mainstream media. That can be false.
I completely disagree with that.
100%. Hold on 1 second.
I completely disagree.
Who went to Iraq and said, my heavenly father told me to and killed 1 million? 1 second.
The fact that you have to still bring this up.
Million.
What, 15
I'll
years later?
I'll bring this 25 years later.
Okay.
Why? Is the Muslim life insignificant to you? Then why do you have an issue with me bringing it 15 years later? No, 1 second.
You are misconstruing.
1 second. 15 years later, why are you bringing Ali? It's just 1 million Muslims that died.
You said the mainstream
why are you bringing it up?
Again, you're
Come on.
completely misconstruing.
That's unfair.
That's misconstruing.
Clear yourself.
And it's nonsense.
Okay,
Okay, the point is that you said the mainstream media as if the mainstream media consistently paints an Islamophobic narrative.
100%. Are
Okay,
you for?
okay, and then the example you give is over a decade ago.
Come on, bro.
It's a decade ago. That's quite.
Decade ago, 1 million people died, mate.
It's clutching at straws to say.
Well, these straws are telling you 1 million people died.
No, again, you can keep bringing up the fact that 1 million people died, which is horrendous and horrific.
Yes.
But then to say that directly correlates to mainstream media Islamophobia. That's a nonsense.
No. I'm saying Christianity. Like, for example, the book of Samuel, chapter 15, verse 2 to 3. Maybe Bush learned from there. Go kill men, women, children, women, and donkeys.
Right.
I would say you guys are the biggest terrorists then, as Christians. The Crusaders.
Ali.
1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 2 to 3. He knows.
I know what you're talking about.
I know you know what I'm talking about.
And
there is not a verse like that in the Quran. Sorry.
Okay, we're having to jump to an entirely different discussion. We're talking.
Top the believers, non-believers.
Amalekites, go destroy men, women, children.
He's talking about an analogous thing.
Jesus, who's the God of the Old Testament, ordered that.
Next.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, like in the Quran where it says you should not be friends with non-believers.
Yeah, the hostile ones.
Yeah. Okay.
Allah says in Surah Mumtana, verse 8.
You should kill them and
No, this is what I'm saying. No, we can go through that. He hasn't got time.
As in, this is like a whole separate debate. So I'm not running, I'm just saying, like, it's a whole separate debate.
It's fine.
But I'm saying, when it comes to speech, I don't think, you're claiming that there's this inconsistency.
100%.
And I don't think there is an inconsistency.
100%.
Because if someone, if you come to Speaker's Corner and you want to critique Islam as a worldview, and you do it through the medium of saying, okay, the founder of Islam or the key proponent of Islam, Prophet Muhammad, doesn't have a morally virtuous character, contrary to the claims of Islam and the Quran, then that is a fair criticism to make. And if they do that through the media...
Who said they can't come and ask that question for us to answer? But if you come to with drilled Qurans...
Okay. Just quickly, what's wrong with drilling the Quran? Explain.
As a Christian, you tell me what's not wrong with it. No. That's what I want to know.
No, you can't do that. I asked the question. What's wrong with drilling the Quran?
Because you're desecrating a holy scripture. Well, if I did the same with the Bible...
It's holy,
if I did the same with the Bible...
Does that presuppose it's holy?
To us, not to you.
Right.
To us, not to you.
Okay, but you're having to presuppose that.
Well, of course, it's like the same with the Bible.
Okay, but then I go along, and you said Muhammad, and you said Abraham came along.
Yes.
They saw holy statues to those false pagans, but they were holy to them.
Yes.
Oh, therefore you can't touch them. No, of course they smashed it up because they assumed that it was false.
No, but that's not the same as...
It is analogous.
It's not the same.
It is because it's not holy to Christians, is it?
No problem. But the action within itself... No, the action within itself we're talking about here.
Why?
Is it godly? It's not.
Why?
That's the point. Because if as Christians...
I'm saying you're making an assumption.
Very simple. I'll explain to you. Because as Muslims, that shows, like, this whole concept of Christian, people come and say Christians are loving. Today is a different day. Today you're seeing very clearly, as Muslims, we are not allowed to insult the God of others. We are Muslims. We are the very harsh.
That's built into your worldview, though.
Yeah, no. What do you mean?
Exactly.
It is.
No, so it's not analogous.
But what we found out today is that you're telling us that no, that is godly. That's great. That's good news to me. You know why? Because it shows me that as no. We know what you said. I think people can decide. You can close the statement. I'll make it very clear. No problem. Yeah, no problem. Sorry. You know what that means? It's just desperate times call for desperate measures. Yeah.
You're completely misconstruing it.
Okay, I'm gonna. If I'm doing that, I'm gonna give you your time.
Okay. Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Sorry.
No, it's okay. So it's very clear that this notion of love, mercy, turn the other cheek is nonsense. We found out today. And the second thing, as Muslims, we just realized, and we knew from the beginning, is the very following, which Allah and His Messenger tells us, and it always come to be true, is what the following. The disbelievers would never, ever be happy with you. We are told. Until you convert to the religion. And the reason why I'm saying this is because today you have come and made it very simple that the actions of an individual, which I'll be honest, I thought you would come today and condemn. You have actually done something better. You have told me something that has opened my eyes and we're like, we knew it. Because it shows you that you justify that, which you're going to have your statement, it's my closing statement. You justify, not only justify, you believe it's godly. In Islam, we believe to insult the gods of others is ungodly and you shouldn't do it. It's actually haram. I'll leave it.
Okay.
Yes.
Shall I hold it?
Yeah, hold it. It's all yours.
Okay, that's it. Right, so a couple of things. I didn't make the positive assertion that it was godly. I said I'm unwilling to make the negative assertion that it's ungodly. Slight difference, but important difference, okay? That's one thing to make. The other point to say is that when Ali brings up examples in Islam about how we're not allowed to say, for example, insult Jesus or insult God or desecrate the Bible, like the Torah and the New Testament, that's all fine, but that's because within his worldview, according to the truth of his worldview, those things are commanded and you have to respect them to some level, okay? So it's not analogous, whereas we're not told that we have to respect, in the way that he's talking about, have to respect books or ornaments or statues which we believe to be false. So it's not analogous. It would be more analogous if he said pagan statues and idols, which the Quran doesn't tell him he has to respect, right, in the exact sort of way. And when we brought up those examples, we talk about Abraham, we talk about Muhammad, we talked about the way in which he destroyed those statues. And there's no problem with that. And according to both of our worldviews, there's nothing really problematic with that. If that's the case, then he should not have a problem with Hatun or whoever desecrating or like damaging a Quran, unless he's making a circular argument presupposing that it is holy. If he then says, oh no, it's because it's holy to some people, I then switch the argument back to him. Those pagan statues were holy to those pagan people. You can't desecrate it, right? Obviously the argument doesn't hold up. Last thing I want to say also is when we said about love and then Christians loving doesn't mean you just be a doormat, right? It doesn't mean that you are wishy-washy, and so a lot of Christians, I will say, have unfortunately bought into this kind of Americanized, wishy-washy view of Christianity. Jesus was bold. Jesus called out falsehood. He insulted the Pharisees. He was bold about it. There's nothing wrong with that. Being gratuitously rude and insulting and hurtful for no end, that is ungodly. That is unchristlike, and that's not what we're condoning here. So there's very, very different things that we're talking about. But anyway, yeah, Ali's given me a fair chance to explain myself. I think we've had a good chat. I got to head to church, but yeah, God bless.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. You guys going? You going as well?
Yeah, I got
Okay, I'm here next week. All right, thank you. You had your say, yeah?
Yeah, no, I'm
okay. So okay, that's it, guys. Enjoy it from Salam Corner. Till next time, exposing the freedom of speech. Yeah, there we go. That's your freedom of speech. Yeah.
Talking it, bro. Try and bring them away from it, because the problem is
bring them what?